Donovan. Oh, Discord crashed. That's weird. It's very weird. Why did Discord crash? Discord never crashes. Huh. Oh my god, that's bright. Do that. Do that. Man, this guy sucks because of course he would say that. See, and he joined the gaming VC like a bitch. Tisk, tisk, tisk. That's what he gets for being Donovan. For shame, for shame. See, such a fucking dweeb can't fucking join VC right. Okay. Oh, you don't want
Hello, I need to speak to somebody who can speak a Chinese.
Why did you make that play when you joined in?
I was sitting in the other VC because me and Danny were supposed to play video games.
And he didn't jump on?
No, I think he fell back asleep.
Probably.
He was apparently laying in bed when I called him, and he was like, "No, I woke up a while ago, but I still feel tired. Like, I think I'll get on in a second," is what he told me.
Yeah,
and then
he definitely fell back asleep.
I don't know, that motherfucker just fell back asleep.
Yeah, no, he definitely went back to bed.
Because I called him like around 5. It's been like 40 minutes. Motherfucker's dead asleep.
Yeah, he passed out. I'm not surprised, but yeah.
Neither am I.
Oh man, I'm fucking tired, dude. I mean, now I'm just waiting for the other nerds to show up, if they will show up. If they don't show up in the next 15 minutes...
This weather fucking makes people want to sleep, dude.
I mean, I think for me, it's just I've been going non-stop for like 2 weeks now. I'm pretty fucking exhausted. Thank Christ I don't record in the morning.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Not that it don't matter, because my body will wake itself up at like 5 a.m. anyway. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna
Sounds
take
like shit.
5 melatonin gummies before I go to bed today. Yeah, I think but,
Me and Daniel have
so
started playing a different pack. Yeah. What's up?
Did I tell you about my back glass on my phone shattering?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
yeah.
I don't know why. Here, watch stream real quick. I'm taking my phone out of my case this one time, and then I am not taking it off again. Okay? I'm doing this on stream.
I'm looking.
I'm doing this on stream so that if I need to show other people the new carbon fiber thing, I can just pull up the stream clip, right? So I'm not taking this case off ever again. Ever. Unless I have another glass shard in my pocket, in which case I'm going straight to Samsung, right? So I got new back glass, not cracked. I had to put a whole new back glass back on. It was a pain in the ass. And then there's this carbon fiber thing that like sticks over the top of the glass, right? Hopefully this will give it a little bit more durability. Doesn't matter though, because it's staying in the... Oh shit, it's got a bubble. You know what? It doesn't matter, because it's going to be in the OtterBox case forever. And if I get... like, if it cracks again, and like I get another shard of glass in my finger, because, you know, the glass is cracked, it looks like it got curb stomped again. If it happens one more fucking time, I'm just going straight to Samsung, and I don't care what I have to pay. I'm having Samsung replace it, because at that point, I'm just going to assume it's the fault of the back glass that I keep buying. So I know the first time it shattered was totally my fault, right? The original back glass shattered because, well, that was kind of Daniel's fault, actually. Fucking jump
dude, I remember that. I remember that. It was just a
Well, because he fucking
fell.
jump scared me while I was cleaning my phone. I remember we were in the middle of D&D and it pissed me off. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is that back glass shattering was kind of Daniel's fault. The second time, the white back glass that I had, that one was completely my fault, right? This most recent one, the one that I just replaced, that one I have no idea how it broke. I blame the Spider-Man case. I assume it just wasn't doing a good job of protecting my phone. But if it shatters,
could have had like a.
Could have had like a what?
A small imperfection when it was being made, so that it causes a crack.
Maybe. Anyway, so I'm gonna blame that one on the Spider-Man case, right? And then this one, the one that I just put on today, the one that I just showed you the carbon fiber thing on top of it, right? If this one breaks, I'm just going straight to Samsung, and I'm gonna pay like the $200 to get it repaired. Because at that point, I'm just gonna assume it's because of the faulty glass that I'm buying. Or I'm not putting it on right, but I know I am putting it on right. So if it shatters again, I'm just gonna assume it's because of the shitty glass, and I will just go to Samsung and have them replace it. And then again, I will put it in an OtterBox case and never ever take it out. So
I remember the first time you were like, "Man, that case looks fucking ugly."
I don't like it. I kind of want the black one, but at the same time, you have the black one.
The one I got?
Confusing.
Huh?
So I wish they had it like the S23 Ultra has an OtterBox case in green. It looks awesome. I want it so badly, but I don't have an S23. And the S23 and the S22 are totally different sizes. It makes me
I don't
sad.
have one for an S.
Hmm?
I don't have one for our generation of phone.
The S22? No, not in green. They have the blue, they have the purple, and they have the black. I don't think there's any other color. I'll look it up though, just to be safe. OtterBox S22 Ultra. Yeah, S22 Ultra. Yeah, they have the purple, they have the blue. Yeah, it's purple, blue, and then black. Are the only three colors that they have. And even then, the OtterBox website doesn't even have the... Oh yeah, it does down there. The black one. So it literally only has the purple, the blue, and the black. And I have the purple and the blue. I have the Defender Pro. Right? I think it's the Defender Pro. Which is the one with like the ridges on it, right? So I have the purple one of the Defender Pro, and then I have the blue one of just the Defender series. The one that doesn't have the ridges, it's just the straight silicone back. But I like having the ridges because it gives me more grip for my fingers, and apparently it has like, you know, antibacterial shit, so I mean... Yeah, they only have one green case, and it's not one of the clip-togethers. It's like a slide-on case. So, but they have the blue. So, I think I'll just stick with the purple. Because I like the purple more than I like the blue. Much more than I like the blue, actually. I actually took the plastic casing from the blue one and then just put the purple silicone over top of it because it looks better. The original plastic piece that goes with the purple one looks kind of fucking stupid because then it's just two shades of purple and it looks nasty because they're actually kind of close to each other. So I just have the way it is, which is fine. But like, if you go look at the S23 Ultra, oh, the S23 Ultra. Oh wait, that's screen protectors. Whoops. Cases. S23 Ultra. Yeah, see, they have the Defender Series Pro in green, and it looks fucking dope. And then they have the Defender Series Pro in blue and yellow, and that one looks dope as shit too. They have one in blue suede shoes, which is like a dark blue and orange. It looks rad, dude. I'm sad that these colors don't exist for the S22 Ultra. That would be so fucking cool.
Wonder why they don't.
They might have when it first released, but I don't know. See, and like, you know how ours
They
have, like,
do have a
the big rectangle where it's like part of the glass is clearly, you know, visible.
They have a life-proof one. They have a life-proof wake, and it's green.
For the S22.
Yeah, it's a drop-proof rating of 2 meters.
I
don't know
trust
if
that one.
that
I
one would
want
be
one of
good.
the ones that like is a 3-piece, you know.
Yeah, because the other pieces break before
Yeah.
the actual phone does.
So, I mean, I like the Defender Pro series, you know. I just wish that it had more colors for the S22. The only
that's fair.
color that I don't have is the black one, but you have the black one, so it's like it'd get confusing once we're living together, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just have to deal with the purple one, at least until I get a new phone in 6 or so years. Hopefully by then, you know, there will be some. You know what? What cases do they have for like Apple? Other? Do they not have stuff for Google? Oh yeah, they do. Defender Series Pro, Pixel 7 Pro. See, even the Pixel 7 Pro has the blue suede shoes option, the dark blue and orange. What the fuck? I granted it.
You're just looking through them now.
It only has the blue suede shoes and the black options, but still. That kind of pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie. Is Samsung, is the S22 Ultra the only one that didn't get cool colors? What the fuck? That's dumb
Probably.
as shit. Hold on, let me look at the S21 Ultra. If they even have it. S21 FE, shop all. Let's go with the S21 Ultra. The S21 Ultra has the black and Varsity Blues, which is still cooler looking colors. It's a darker blue. It's a darker blue with like a really light greenish blue. What the fuck? That's dumb as fuck, dude. Why is our phone the only one that has the shitty case colors? I feel betrayed.
The S20 Ultra doesn't have almost anything.
Well, I mean,
That's
yeah,
three.
that's a 3-year-old phone. I'm not too surprised by that. What about the Note 20 Ultra? That was the more popular one. Note 20 Ultra just has black.
Galaxy Z Fold 5. They have a baby blue jeans color.
Do the Fold phones have Defender series?
Yeah, they have Defender series.
How does
I don't know. That black one looks nice though for oh no, that's a Thin Flex
Defender
series.
XT.
No, they do have one for a
Whoa.
Defender series. That one looks badass.
That's kind of trippy. They're like $80 cases, but
Yeah, but that
weird.
thing's mostly made of glass. Like
Oh, yeah.
you'd need that.
Definitely. But that's still bizarre. I never would have.
Guess that they would have made folding cases.
No, I knew they made folding cases. I just didn't think the Defender series would have made it. Huh. I'll be damned. Okay, but seriously, I'm considering getting a Pixel for my next device. So I'm glad that at the very least Google gets the cooler color options.
I think in the future, maybe like 6 or 7 years from now, I think I might go for a fold if they still have them around.
The Fold? Oh, dude, folding phones will be perfected by the time we need to get new phones.
Fuck
Because
yeah.
I mean, the S22 came
Either
out
that
last year.
or-
It gets, I think it was 5 years of guaranteed software updates with 6 years of security updates.
Yeah.
It might have been less than that. Whoa, typed it wrong.
I'm
How many
trying to
updates
think of a
will the
way.
S22 Ultra get? Okay, so it's 4 years of updates and 5 years of security. So we're on the first year of 5. So we get 3 more complete OS version upgrades and then another year of security updates after that. So 2026 or 2027, probably 2027 is when we'll need to get new ones. But I mean, at that point, at the S27 Ultra, who knows, man? If they even call it the S27 Ultra, Samsung has a tendency to skip numbers.
Yeah, they do.
So, because I'm pretty sure we went from the Galaxy S10 to the Galaxy S20. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they did that, right?
I think so. I think that's what happened.
Hold on. What came after?
No, but I think probably in the future, besides maybe a PC, my next probably bigger kind of purchase is gonna be X-Real Air glasses. Glasses?
Gotcha. Oh, okay, here we go. The S10 lineup released in 2019, and in the following year they did the S20 Ultra so that they could make the phones match the year that they released. So it probably will be the 27 Ultra then.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to go by
Z
the
Fold,
year.
the Z Fold 20. They'll probably
See,
do that.
If we're on the Z Fold 5 now, 6 years from now we'll be on the Z Fold 12. No.
Yeah.
Wait, 6 years from now. No, the Z Fold 11. That's what we'd be on. That's kind of crazy. That's real crazy.
Like, I think the one big purchase I really kind of want is the X-Real Air AR glasses.
I don't know. I don't really want AR glasses. That whole concept kind of tweaks me out. Gives me glitch trap vibes, and I'm not super fond of it.
That's fine.
VR
Okay, buddy,
even
when I
makes
s-
me a little uncomfortable because of Five Nights at Freddy's, and that sucks. You know?
One of
every
the
time-
biggest.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it. No, go for it, man.
I was gonna say, I'm afraid to play a VR game because every time I put on a VR headset, my first thought is fucking glitch trap is gonna take over my body, even though I know that's not true. It's like my nerd instinct is like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck.
It's okay, buddy. We'll be there to knock you out if need be.
Kill me. Okay, you were saying?
So one of the biggest reasons is because they allow for a virtual desktop. with them, which means I can have one monitor, one actual monitor, and go into the glasses with three of them. I can have three monitors set up with just like a laptop if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot easier because you can. I'm pretty sure you can adjust them to the way you usually have screens and shit. So I literally would just be able to have a regular screen in front of me, but also just be working on whatever I need to.
Yeah.
More convenience in my head.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And you pretty much have like a personal like thing, so you can even watch YouTube videos and shit without even having to pull up your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great if you're sitting in public transportation or something like that. True, you look like a weirdo just with your glasses just staring off into the air.
I'm not staring off into the air. I'm looking at my phone.
No, that's what I mean. Like with AR glasses, you'll look like a fucking crazy person staring off into the distance while you're watching shit.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Hold on. I'm trying to add...
Hey, but what are you trying to add?
Hold on. Let me see if I'm trying to add a Mimic meme to my Discord soundboard. Just because I think it'd be funny. So... I know I complained about the Mimic like the whole time. I complained about...
You continue to complain about the Mimic. What the fuck do you mean?
I do, because the Mimic sucks ass, dude. I mean, he's a cool villain, but like... Hold on.
But he sucks ass?
Let me say this right, okay? Let me think this through before I say shit that I'm gonna regret later.
Huh?
I don't like what the Mimic gives people the idea of, right?
Okay.
Because the Mimic, while an awesome concept for a character that I'm totally on board with, and I think he could be a legitimately frightening villain for the Freddy's series, what the Mimic represents to me is confirming people's suspicions that the Pizzaplex books and the games take place in the same timeline, which they don't. But that's what people are gonna try to make seem is the case because the Mimic exists. But that's stupid anyway.
And then the movies are gonna take place in an entire another universe.
Well, they all take place in different universes. That's the whole point. You know, it's like... Prime example, right? The name William Afton was revealed in one of the books, in the Silver Eyes trilogy, the first Silver Eyes book. And, I mean, that name, William Afton, is still, to this day, the name of Purple Guy, right? The name of the child murderer. Names, story beats, and certain events cross over from the books. The books, according to Scott, are meant to kind of set out the rules and guidelines for what can happen in Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yeah.
It's the same way, like, we got a lot of ideas for current lore solutions from the books, you know? Like Remnant is barely touched on in the games, right? But Remnant is like the driving force behind why any of the animatronics are possessed to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the animatronics are alive because of Remnant, which we only really learn about in the Silver Eyes trilogy. And then if you go on to, like, other things, like, yeah, sure, the Pizzaplex books, the Tales books, do mention the Mimic, you know? They do mention the Mimic. It's where the character is introduced. It gives him a backstory. That's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that, right? My problem is the amount of stupid young people who are new to the Freddy's franchise who just absolutely insist that the Tales books are canon because, oh, well, a leaked email from somebody who worked at Scholastic, you know, said that the books were canon to the main games timeline. The fuck does Scholastic know? They're not writing the games. They're not writing... And first of all, it doesn't even make fucking sense because in the Tales from the Pizzaplex books, there's a whole ass indoor roller coaster in the Pizzaplex, which is fucking nowhere to be seen in the games. And they can't say like, oh, well, you know, it's been taken down and, you know, you're not gonna find it because they didn't take down Foxy's whole log ride. Foxy hasn't been at the Pizzaplex in a long fucking time. Like, in a long fucking time. Foxy went missing from the Pizzaplex long before Bonnie did. Like, Foxy was removed from the Pizzaplex, like, really early on into its run. And Bonnie left the main group, like, way later, you know? So it's like, if Fazbear Entertainment didn't bother fully dismantling and packing up Foxy's stuff when he is completely missing from everywhere else in the Pizzaplex, then why would you assume that they would dismantle an entire fucking roller coaster instead of just building around it like they did Foxy's log ride? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, you know? Not only that, but if there is an entire indoor fucking roller coaster hidden somewhere in the game's version of the Pizzaplex, why the fuck didn't we see it? Because that would have been awesome. It doesn't...
I don't think there could have been.
Exactly. Like, the Pizzaplex is big enough on its own. It doesn't need more shit. I mean, it's got an entire race car track. And an entire golf course. On top of a big-ass laser tag arena, a big-ass bowling alley, 3 big-ass arcades, a big-ass daycare, an underground theater, all kinds of shit.
By the way, that laser tag arena and that, I think the laser tag arena, from what I've seen in, like, videos and shit, I don't think it would pass code.
Oh, no. No, most of the Pizzaplex doesn't pass approval. No, not even a little bit. The Pizzaplex is a very unsafe place.
Could you imagine if... Because the thing is, if that doesn't all pass code, what if they added an actual roller coaster? A roller coaster has to be checked on every day, almost every day, by the engineers of the roller coaster.
Exactly. Well, see, and here's the big thing, right? It doesn't even matter what's in the Pizzaplex because the entire fucking building was built on a sinkhole. So, I mean, does it really matter? It just, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's the same thing, like, in the books,
that big of a sinkhole, you could take, like,
the creator of the
like
Mimic
a jackhammer and
in the Pizzaplex books, right? His name is Edwin, right? I think it's Edwin.
Huh?
Maybe his son's name is Edwin. No, his name is Edwin. So, the creator of the Mimic in the Pizzaplex books, his name is Edwin. And he is very heavily hinted at being like the book stand-in for Henry Emily. Which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, you know? Especially because Henry's fucking dead in main series timeline. Has been for like a while. So it's not like... it just gets to me. And it's the same thing, like... The whole excuse for why Glitchtrap acts like William Afton is because Fazbear Entertainment copied the Mimic program from the original Endoskeleton dozens of times over and put an Endoskeleton in each pizzeria that opened to just watch the animatronics so that it could copy their showtime sequences. That way, Fazbear Entertainment wouldn't have to waste so much time programming new showtime sequences. But at the same time, that also means that the one that ends up pretending to be William Afton just happened to be the only one that saw William Afton kill like a busload of children. And then all the other ones were destroyed. Fazbear Entertainment discontinued the Mimic project. All of the other Mimic Endos and their chips were destroyed, except for the one that just happened to see Afton. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know. I hope I hope that what they do, what Steel Wool does, is they make the Mimic in the games into his own character instead of just stealing his origin story from the books. I really do. Because if they give him his own thing, if they give the Mimic his own backstory, if they explain away Glitchtrap, not that it really matters because Glitchtrap is like canonically dead now, but either way, if they give the Mimic his own origin story, like they completely rewrite his story, give him new motives, new, way to function, I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is the people who are just so goddamn insistent that the Tales books are directly canon to the games, because that has not ever been the case. And I remember a time, not all that long ago, only like 3 or 4 years
Andrew's
ago.
in chat.
Oh, hi Angie. How are you? I'm okay. I'm just ranting about FNAF. Sorry you have to hear this again.
It happens like every stream, dude.
I know. But like, it really does piss me off that like people are so quick nowadays to be like, oh, the Tales books are directly canon to the game's timeline, because that's never ever been. First of all, it's printed. I showed you directly on the back of the book. It says that they are from uncharted corners of the series canon. They are not one-to-one. They are not. They've never been one-to-one. If the books are directly canon to the games, there's all kinds of weird shit that exists. Like, there's a VR attraction at the Pizzaplex that puts you in a simulation of Earth where everyone gets super cancer. What does that accomplish in the main series? It does nothing.
In a weird way, this reminds me of. It's kind of like seeing people who think they know a lot about guns and like weaponry, and see them like draw shit on paper, and then you have like people who know pretty much what the fuck they're talking about, did a lot of research into it, like learned basic shit to very high shit in it, and then they look at what you're saying and they're like, what the fuck are you saying? None of that would work. Like, it doesn't fit, the pieces don't matter, everything has to be put in a certain way, not like just thrown into a basket.
Exactly. See, and I do understand where you're coming from with that. For me, it's like I have been painstakingly charting out the Freddy's lore, timeline, and what can and can't happen within the rules of the Freddy's universe for almost a decade at this point. I remember when Five Nights at Freddy's first released, before I even started 5th grade. Like, I've been doing this a long fucking time. I've been an advocate fan of this series for a long fucking time. I remember the original Nixon animations on YouTube before they were all taken down and he started developing games. I remember all of this shit. I remember Smike. Nobody even talks about Smike because nobody likes him. Like, I remember all of this shit. I've been around in the Freddy's
nobody likes him.
Well, yeah, no, he had a whole bunch of controversy. But, like, I've been around. I remember when Razbowski and Dawko came bursting onto the scene, and now they're, like, two of the most prominent figures in the entire Freddy's fandom, I remember when Dawko first started making FNAF videos, Like, I've been here a long fucking time, man. I remember watching the first game theory video on Five Nights at Freddy's, as dumb as it was, the day that it came out. I've been there the whole time. And the one thing that was super consistent until relatively recently is everyone hated bringing over concepts from the books. Everyone ridiculed MatPat and a ton of other theorists for using anything from the books for literal years until recently, and now all of these young little fuckers are putting their heads so far up their ass they're kissing their own organs. And an email from Scholastic said that they're directly canon to the games. Fuck Scholastic. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. How many times have they misprinted shit? pisses me off. It really fucking does. It's ridiculous. Really,
It's kind
really
of like me
fucking
taking apart an
ridiculous.
AR-15, handing it to you, and then you put it together like it's an AK and say, "Oh, it was supposed to be an AK, right?"
Yeah. I don't know.
Because
Like,
none of those parts fit.
don't get me wrong, I'm not the gatekeeping type of person, you know? I'm not saying young people can't be into Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm just saying, if you're young and you're getting into Five
A
Nights
bit
at
of research.
Freddy's, yeah, do your own research, right? But then at the same time, don't feel like don't have the fucking audacity and self-centeredness to come attack someone who's been, or I guess not attack, but like to come ridicule someone or try to like correct someone who's been around for a long time. It's not like I fell out of love with the series. I ranted about Five Nights at Freddy's like 5 or 6 times a week, every week, for almost a decade now, you know?
And it just gets funnier and funnier.
It really gets me. Like, these little kids who think they know more about the timeline than I do. Like, like, you may read the sacred texts, but I was there when they were written, motherfucker. You can't...
God damn it, you pulled that meme out of the fucking room. What the fuck?
That's how I feel, though, you know? It's like, you can say what you want, you little bastard, but you can't tell me that you know more about the Freddy's timeline than I do. I bet that 90% of you little motherfuckers haven't even played the games. I have painstakingly, for hours and hours on end, played through every single fucking Freddy's game, with the exception of Help Wanted, because it's VR and it kind of scares me a little. Other than that, every single Freddy's game I've played to completion. The only one that I haven't gotten, like, full 2020 mode on is fucking Ultimate Custom Night, because 2050 mode is ridiculous. That's the only one that I haven't done that on.
I don't know what we need to do once we kind of like
a brain aneurysm.
get a VR headset.
Okay, sorry, what was that?
Should we get once like one of us get the VR headset and we're continuing to play Faz? One of us should play Faz in VR.
Ooh, I'd be down. I'd want to. That sounds kind of sick. Not gonna lie.
Because that it's already a thing. Because you already own Faz, you can launch it in VR mode. If you launch it through Steam, you can launch it in VR.
No, it's fine. I'm just happy I'm here with y'all. I'm good to hear that you're all so fun. That is no lie. You talk about FNAF 24/7. I still stick around for it. I appreciate that, Angie. I really do. Again, I'm sorry that you have to listen to this rant, but I don't know. Recently, like I'll tell you what triggered this, right? I was at Walmart yesterday with James, and James went to the bathroom, and I heard this little kid talking to his older brother about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, and his older brother corrected him. Like, rightfully corrected him. He said, the little kid said something stupid, and his older brother was like, well, no, you know, that's not actually how that happened. Like, do you want me to tell you how that actually happened? And this little motherfucker, not even my little sibling, but I wanted to punch him across the field, like, turned around and he was like, no, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. I know Freddy's. And it makes me mad. Not even my sibling, and it makes me mad. My siblings know better than to say shit like that to me. They know better. My whole family knows better than to say some stupid shit like that to me. If one of my little sisters came up to me and was like, oh, I know more about the Freddy's lore than you, I would not hesitate to body slam one of my little sisters into a tree. Not even a second thought.
What's funnier is you don't have to worry about us doing that because we don't care enough.
Exactly. You guys are just like, yeah, sure, okay, dude. Whatever, man. Yeah, purple guys. It's just like, I can't, man. I can't handle the arrogance of some of these newer FNAF. Like, don't get me wrong, Freddy's has always had its issues within the fan base, you know? It's always had its rotten eggs. It's always had its pains in the ass throughout the years, you know? But it seems like recently, this new generation of FNAF fans are just dumb as hell. Just straight up dumb as hell. It's so frustrating. It's like we have that one guy in chat. I don't remember his name.
Orlando or whatever the fuck.
Eraldo, yeah. Eraldo, and then I think it's the God of NW is the other one. Who they come in and they like try to correct me on the FNAF lore. And it's like, no. Shut up. Stop talking. You know, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being in chat, but don't be fucking morons, you know? It's like, do you think if I wasn't obsessed with the Freddy's timeline, like if I didn't know what I was talking about, don't you think I would have much better things to do with my life than this? I do this because all I do is talk about the Freddy's timeline.
True.
It's like, it melts my brain, you know? It's the same thing, like, on TikTok recently, I've been seeing a whole bunch of posts about, like, how Funtime Foxy was repurposed into Mangle. And it's like, no. Just no. Just no. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Funtime Foxy is a Funtime animatronic. Which are animatronics made out of, like, coils and tubes and shit like that. Mangle is a toy animatronic who has an Endo O2. Endo O2s are very, very, very different endoskeletons. On no fucking planet are those two robots the same fucking character. On no fucking planet does Funtime Foxy become Mangle. It doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't matter what FNAF World says. It doesn't matter if the repaired version of Mangle is called Funtime Foxy. It doesn't fucking matter. You know why? Because even then, there's design discrepancies. Because Funtime Foxy in FNAF World has a goddamn pirate's hook, and Funtime Foxy, the Funtime animatronic from Sister Location, doesn't have a goddamn pirate hook because he's not a fucking pirate. He's a performer. He's a stage performer. Mangle, at one point, being a version of Foxy, probably did have a pirate theme, especially considering that their area is called Kids Cove, which presumably is just a more kid-friendly versions of Pirates Cove. You can tell how much this has been weighing on my mind.
Entirely.
Well, I'd be sorry, this is the reason I'm here if I didn't find your content entertaining. These months 7? I don't know what that means. You have been here gaming and FNAF 4 hinting. I've been here most of the time and still do to this day. I know, I just feel bad. I get way too heated about shit like that. I'm very passionate about the things that I like. It's the same thing, like, The Flash. The Flash is something that
Flash!
The Flash!
The Flash!
Like, I'm very passionate about The Flash, too. DC Comics in general, I'm very passionate about. Like, I got into an argument with James yesterday about Superman. Because James was telling me that Superman is a boring character. And he's partially right, but it depends on who writes Superman. Yes. If Superman is written properly, he's a very interesting, like, pillar of the community. And I pointed out different stories that, like, really shows that. Like, there's a storyline where Superman is walking across the entire country, and he ends up going in this small town and saving this little boy whose dad is beating him and his mom. And it's a really interesting Superman comic.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I know exactly.
That, like, Superman just has more of a moral compass than even most basic humans, you know? And at the very end of the comic, he has this line where it's like, anyone with 2 eyes, a phone, and 2 cents worth of compassion could have done something about this, you know? Because the cop was like, "Oh, you know, thanks, Superman. If you hadn't been here, no one would have known. No one would have found out." And it's like, yeah, Superman was just like, "You're stupid. You guys are just assholes. That's the problem." And then
what I like...
Here, hold on. I gotta tell you this before I forget it. Another great Superman storyline is Superman's Day Off, which is like, who's the guy who, like, he has to hold up the heavens? What's his name?
Oh, it's fucking... I know who you're talking about. It's a Roman god. It's
Because I'm not gonna be able to finish telling this unless I know his name. Atlas. It's Atlas. That's who it is. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Atlas, his brother, Mohita sided with the Titans, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So Atlas is the one who holds up the heavens, right? So in this storyline, Atlas's daughter is getting married. So Superman takes his place in holding up the heavens for just one day so that Atlas can go to his daughter's wedding. And the entire planet, superheroes and villains alike, all just like respect the hell out of Superman for like finally taking a day off. All of the heroes step up and go into overdrive to protect their cities because it's Superman's day off. They're just doing what Superman would do. You know, the big guy deserved a day off. Even villains, some villains just straight up call a truce for the day because Superman has taken his day off, you know? Like, it really shows just how much Superman is like a pillar of morality and hope within the DC universe. And sometimes he can be boring, but when he's written right in stories like that, where even on Superman's one day off, he's still not taking a day off. He spends the whole day holding up the heavens for Atlas so that the poor guy can just go to his daughter's wedding. Like, that's his one day off, and that's what he's doing, you know? It really just, like, you gotta respect the shit out of it. And then,
when it comes
like,
to...
the fact that Superman just learned every language on the planet just out of curiosity so he could better connect with people while he was saving them. Respect, dude. Respect.
It's fair, yeah.
There's a reason Superman is, like, the best of the DC heroes. Because Superman, when written correctly, is just a really fucking stand-up guy, you know?
He is, though. Like, heroes, when they're written right, are always great.
Yeah.
They make entire sense and stuff like that. I think some of my favorite stuff is when the heroes aren't there.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
like,
See,
have you ever seen some of the ones where Batman fucking disappears?
yeah, well, I mean, most of the time when Batman disappears, Nightwing just takes up the mantle of Batman. But it always causes so much, like, calamity within the Bat family. It's very weird.
Yeah. It's weird because, especially when none of them realize until, like, later on that, where'd fucking Batman go?
Because Bruce is just, like, up and disappears for days at a time.
Dude, he does, though.
Like, the whole Bat family, like, it takes them a while to notice that Bruce is missing. Just because when he's not around, they're like, oh, he's probably off doing Batman shit. And then, like, a month or two passes, and they're like...
Where the fuck did he go?
He might be fine, but let's look into it anyway. And it's like, speaking of Superman and Batman, here's something really interesting to me that a lot of people don't point out. In the comics, Superman and Batman look, like, ridiculously similar. Like, almost twins. So much so to the point where Superman and Batman regularly switch identities to cover for each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it leads to, like, one of the funniest moments in DC Comics, where Superman is pretending to be Bruce Wayne, so Bruce can go do Batman stuff without, like, revealing his secret identity. And someone hires Deathstroke to kill Bruce Wayne. And because Clark is pretending to be Bruce, he's on a yacht, he's partying, and when Deathstroke poisons him because he's fucking Superman, he doesn't die, it just gets him really drunk. So Deathstroke goes to kill him, and just like ends up tearing up the shirt that Clark is wearing. And Clark, drunk as fuck, looks at Deathstroke and he's like, "You ruined Bruce Wayne's shirt." He grabs the sword that Deathstroke has and he breaks it with his bare hands and he goes, "Ta-da, Sard Borkin," and then fucking flicks him into the stratosphere. It's one of the funniest moments in DC Comics, and the entire plot line is Superman pretending to be Bruce Wayne for a day. It's really fucking funny.
A lot of times, when that happens a lot is when they switch places, is when they go against Lex, when the whole Justice League is around.
True.
They show up, and Lex always tries to use green kryptonite, and is like, Lex, in one of them, Lex shoots Batman with a laser pistol, and then uses green kryptonite against fucking Superman.
But they've switched places,
And
so it does nothing
they
to either
switched-
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing like when Batman went missing. I think this was in the animated series. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
Batman
talking
went
about.
missing, and Superman flies over to Metropolis, noticing that Robin's been taking care of shit on his own for a couple of days, and then puts on the Batman suit and just like pretends to be Batman and does a spot-on voice impression of him.
Oh yeah.
It, like, you gotta respect it. And then, like, another one that I really love, and it's not a Superman Batman thing, like, just the complexity and the intricacy of the DC universes really gets me sometimes. Like the fact that every single villain in DC Comics that are from like other places refuse to touch Central City because of the Flash. Like, even the Joker won't go to Central City because of the Flash, you know? Because one time the Joker went to Central City, sneakily hooked up all of his Joker gas, and the second the gas started to release, the Flash had showed up, got all of the gas away, and then like created a cyclone that flung Joker back towards Gotham. And then there's another character who, he's like a magician from another world whose ability is like, he can teleport anywhere in time and space and across dimensions. And he shows up in Central City one day, steals a little girl's lollipop in front of the Flash, and the Flash chased him across dozens of universes, dozens of dimensions, and all the way to the end of time and space just to get the little girl's lollipop back. It's like, it's so much so to the point where every single villain is like, "Nah, dude, don't fucking touch Central City. Central City is a no-no. Don't you fuck with the Flash, my guy."
It also just gives the Flash a ton of stuff, like, to just, he has a ton of fucking time.
He does.
Just to do nothing.
Like, Central City may be like his home city, but the Flash runs across the entire planet solving, you know, like helping people and solving crimes all the time. He may, like, Central City may be his home, but it's like, he's constantly running around the planet and helping people, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, usually when I think the Flash, I think Wally West, just because Wally was the primary Flash when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And he was also the Flash for the longest, you know? Jay wasn't the Flash for very long before Barry was introduced. Barry was the Flash for a little bit, but when Barry died in Crisis, Wally took over as the Flash and just was the primary Flash for a long fucking time. Like, the longest run out of any other Flash. And then when they got rid of him, a lot of people were really fucking pissed about it. They tried rebooting him, turning him into the small black Wally. A lot of people didn't like that, so they finally brought back Wally West proper and immediately turned him into a bad guy, to then turn him back into a good guy, back into a bad guy, then back into a good guy again, sent him to prison, turned him into God. He stopped being God, became the primary Flash again. Him and Barry fought. He was a villain again, was a hero again. Him and Barry fought. Then he was the primary Flash again. Then he wasn't. Then he is. And he's currently the primary Flash alongside Barry also being the primary Flash.
What?
Yeah, it's confusing. But personally,
Have you ever?
I view Wally as the primary Flash just because they've done more work in building up Wally's story than they have with anything Barry related in the last, like, 5 years. Like, 1 Minute War, as much as Barry is a part of that story, a lot of it is pretty heavily focused on Wally. Like, Wally and Linda are getting ready to have their third kid, who might have been teased in 1 Minute War. It's like, it's cool, you know? And Wally's kids are, like, very actively a part of the DC universe. Like, it's brought up multiple times across different DC comics that the Flash lets his kids help him fight crime, you know? Wally's kids, Iris and Jay, Jay goes by the name Surge, and he connects to the Strength Force. Or I think it's the Speed Force, but he turns it into Strength. It's weird. He's like as strong as Superman, even though he's just a little kid. Kind of fucking cool, you know? And then
that's pretty cool.
Iris, Wally's daughter, she goes by the name Thunderheart, and she's a speedster. And she's kind of a bully speedster, because when she's fucking with villains, she can punch you 1,000 times in a second before you even know what hit you. And then she'll give you a wedgie just to make herself laugh. And it's really cute, and I'm super on board with it. But it's like... it's a whole thing, you know? People don't give the Flash enough credit. The Flash, in my head, is like DC's Spider-Man. Because he is like the everyday, like, will help the little guy out superhero. He's capable of being part of the big world-ending events, but the Flash works better in one-on-one, people-centric stories. But that's just me.
Have you ever seen Batman: Death in the Family?
Who hasn't seen that? Well, are you talking about the movie or the actual comics? Because the movie and the comics
haven't seen
are
the
very,
comic.
very different.
I haven't seen the comic. I want to read the comic about it, but I haven't had
The comic has a... Personally, I think the comic did a better job than the movie. I love the movie Death in the Family, but I feel like the comic definitely makes it a much more painful moment.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Jason's mom watched the Joker beat him to death beat him almost to death with a crowbar. He was locked in there. He was locked in that warehouse with his mom and was still trying to save her after she watched him get his ass beat with a crowbar. And not like she was chained up and she couldn't stop him. Like she didn't care she was smoking a cigarette while the Joker took a crowbar to her son.
Oof.
And yeah, even after that, Jason was still like trying to save her when the fucking warehouse blew up. And it's like, yeah, like to this day, none of the Bat family know that Jason's mom was a criminal or that she watched the Joker kick the shit out of him. It's a whole thing. Yeah, Death in the Family is a very interesting story. And it also, like, if you really read into a lot of the little things within the comics of it, it makes you question Jason Todd's mentality about the whole thing. Because in the movie, it seems more like he's, like, just angsty, and he's kind of getting over it, but he's mad at Bruce, and he wants Bruce to understand. But in the comics, it's really more like he can't get his head out of that moment. You know? It's like he is constantly in that headspace. And clearly it takes a fucking toll on him, you know? And no one ever really questions it. It's just like, oh, it's Jason being Jason. And it's like, yeah, it's there's a lot of things that you'll like more about the comics than you will about the actual movie. So, what pisses me off more than anything is that people voted for Jason Todd to die. DC Comics held a vote. It was a call-in vote for people to decide whether they wanted Jason Todd to die or to live. And most people voted for Jason to die, which means people actively chose to kill this child. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Welcome to America.
Because the writers of the comics were going to write Jason out of the role of Robin anyway, because the writers didn't like Jason. A lot of the writers didn't even, or I think it was just one of the writers, didn't even like the concept of Robin. But the writers just didn't like Jason. So they were going to write him out of the role of Robin. But they held the vote, and the majority of people voted to kill Jason, which is really fucked up. It's real fucked up.
Welcome to America. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But Red Hood's a lot cooler now.
Red Hood. Red Hood is pretty cool. I like Red Hood. What gets me about a lot of the comics, or like the differences between the comics and the movies, is the movies look cool and sometimes they have cool adaptations of stories, but a lot of the times the movies just kind of do their own thing, which I'm okay with, but then it gets me mad when people try to use the movies as like definitive canon to the comics, because most of the time that's not the case, you know? It's like, as much as I love the movies and the TV shows, I know that they're not canon to the comics, you know? The same way that as much as I love the Freddy's books, and like as cool as they are, they're not canon to the games, you know? They're two separate continuities. Ideas and stories can cross over, but they're not directly parallel, you know?
I remember the other day you were like, man, I gotta buy this book. God damn it, I have to wait till pay
Oh, yeah. Well, that was mainly because I wanted to read the story The Monty Within, but I just listened to the audiobook version of it. So, The Monty Within is a very interesting story. It's very mimic-centric, which is why I wanted to read it. And it's super fucked up, but at the same time, it makes me have like a newfound respect for Monty. So, I mean, I already respected Monty. I think Monty is like expertly designed, and the way that his character is shown in like contrast to how he's written is very interesting. Like Monty, his character around the Pizzaplex, like all of his artwork, his pre-recorded voices, make him sound like this really laid-back Southern guy who came into the role of being a rock star, right? Like when you're in Monty Golf, you hear the, "Hey kids, welcome to Monty's Gator Golf, home of the Hurricane Hole-in-One. We're closed for the night." And it's like, he just sounds like a really cool Southern dude, you know? And then you get to like how he acts in the games, and he's just
Oh god.
and it's like,
Oh no.
it's interesting. You
Oh
know?
god.
And it's the same thing, like, people say that Monty killed Bonnie, you know? And it's like, I see why people think that, but at the same time, in my head, it seems pretty evident that Monty was fucking framed, you know? Like, for example, Monty's motivation for killing Glamrock Bonnie would supposedly be so he could take Bonnie's place, right? But then, if he killed Bonnie to take his place, why is he skipping main stage performances? You know? Like, there's a security note in Security Breach, or one of the log notes, that says that Monty skipped a main stage performance again and was hiding on the catwalks above Monty Golf. So if Monty killed Bonnie to take his spot on the main stage, why is he skipping performances and hiding on the catwalks? You know? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Kind of sounds like he didn't want to perform, as though he was a replacement.
Exactly.
In his own head.
Which, like, and people say, like, oh, you know, Bonnie giving Monty his guitar and being Monty's mentor and all that is just like Fazbear's cover-up. But in my head, it's like, what if it's not, though? What if Bonnie was legitimately Monty's mentor? You know, what if that was... Because the characters clearly are programmed to believe who they are, you know? Like, Freddy may just be a bare endoskeleton with a Freddy personality chip, but he thinks he's Freddy. He thinks he's the Freddy, you know? Chica thinks she's the Chica. Roxy thinks she's the Roxy. You know? It's like they know they're robots, but they also solely identify as the character that they are. Their pre-programmed personalities and backstories are still there, you know? So it's like Monty, if Monty and Bonnie were programmed with that backstory of Bonnie being Monty's mentor and passing on, you know, his spot on the main stage to Monty, even if it didn't happen exactly like that, Monty's behavior going from, you know, like a laid-back Southern guy, you know, that's his whole thing, that's what he's programmed to be, to Bonnie disappears, he looks super, like it looks like he's super guilty of it. You know, like people think that he was automatically responsible for it. Like he was set up, and then he becomes Bonnie's replacement, and he's actively skipping performances. Why would he skip the performances that he apparently killed one of his friends to be able to do? You know? It doesn't make any sense. But it's like, if you think of it from the perspective of, he didn't want Bonnie's place, or, you know, he actually did look up to Bonnie, and Bonnie was killed or disappeared, and he was framed, and everyone thinks that he's guilty, and he's forced into doing these main stage performances that he doesn't really want to do because of how he got it. And it's like, of course he'd be lashing out. Of course he'd be angry. Of course he'd be skipping performances. That would make so much sense. Monty's skipping performances because he doesn't feel like he should be performing, you know? And then it's the same thing, like, he's angry because everyone thinks he's guilty of this crime that he didn't commit. He's constantly, like, in the headspace of he's gotta be like Bonnie or he's gotta be better than Bonnie. And it's like, it's kind of fucked up the more you think about it. I'm here just listening. I appreciate that, Angie. You really don't have to listen to any of this if you don't want to, but I appreciate it. I've just been ranting about FNAF and DC Comics. Yeah. Anything that I'm passionate about, I can rant about for a long ass time. You know, it's like, there's all kinds of shit. Like, you know what surprised the shit out of me? You know the guy who voices Mario?
Yeah.
Charles Martinet? He stepped down from playing Mario yesterday.
You're fucking kidding.
Yesterday, Nintendo announced that he will be stepping back from recording the voice of Mario, and that he is entering the new role. They created a role specifically for Charles Martinet, the role of Mario Ambassador. He will exclusively, on behalf of Nintendo, go to different Comic-Con events and meet and greets and shit like that, specifically so that he can talk about his experience as Mario. But they've already found a replacement for him. Charles Martinet's replacement is going to be in the new Super Mario Wonder game that releases, I think, later this year. Charles Martinet's last official recorded line in the Mario series was as Mario's dad at the end of the movie when he yells out, "Those are my boys." Which is like the most fitting and wholesome send-off that he could possibly get. But it's like, it's weird that after like 32 years, Charles Martinet is stepping down from being Mario. Being all of those, because he wasn't just Mario. He was Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Wario, a couple of others. The babies, I know that. So it's like...
I wonder who's taking over now.
Right, well they already found a replacement, but Nintendo said that they're not going to tell us who the replacement is, and that we're just going to have to wait and see in the credits of Super Mario Wonder. Which makes me want to buy a Switch just so I can play this, because I love I used to hate Mario, but I've grown to love Mario in the last couple of years.
Hey! You want to buy a Switch?
How much you selling it for?
300.
300.
It's got a docking station. It has charger. It has everything. It's pretty much.
How about I
decent,
pay?
I haven't touched too much.
How about I pay 1 month of rent for you after we move in?
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay, but.
Yeah.
Do I have to wait until I pay that 1 month rent to get it?
No. Next time we meet up, I can just. I'll bring it with me. And you can have it. Just delete my shit off of it, and you can
I
have
will.
it.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. Fuck, dude. I like that deal. This deal makes me happy. No, dude, I haven't played a Mario game, like a 2D Mario game, in a long time. Ever since my 3DS got stolen, I haven't been able to play anything. Like, other than, like, Super Mario 64, but it's super easy to, you know, like, illegally play that game on PC.
My 3DS is somewhere in my room. I don't know
Yeah,
where
my
it is.
3DS got stolen in 7th grade, I think. What's his name? Douchebag Javi. He stole my DS and all of my games and then tried to tell people that I gave it to him. And then he offered to give them back to me a couple of years later when he was dating another one of my friends. And he never did. He never gave them back to me. And it's like, I don't want to ask now because it's been a long ass time. And it would just be weird to be like, hey dude, do you remember like 8 years ago when you took my DS and then like 2 years later when you said you'd give it back to me? Can I have that back, please?
Which Javi? Who are you talking about?
So, huh?
Which Javi? I'm trying to figure out now.
I don't want to say his last name while we're on stream, but
Oh, yeah, you can tell me later. It's just like, I'm trying to figure it out now.
yeah. But he's like, whenever I talk about hobby, that's usually the hobby I'm talking about. I really don't like him. He did a lot of fucked up shit to me when I was in 6th grade. Yeah, no, it was 6th grade that he took it. So yeah, it was like 8 years ago. But yeah, no, Javi did a lot of fucked up shit to me when I was in 6th grade. It was my first year here, and I didn't have much confidence because I'd just gotten away from my birth father. And it was like, he totally took advantage of that and did nothing but fuck with me the whole year. And then, like, tried to make me look like I was crazy by, like, totally changing up the story. He's always been, like, a popular douchebag. So, and then, like, he was actively... Remember the friend that I was saying he was dating? He was actively, very publicly abusive to her. And everyone fucking covered for him. It was only, like, me and a couple of my friends who were, like, really pissed about it and tried to do something about it. But we weren't allowed to touch him because she wouldn't let us. And teachers threatened to turn us in and shit like that. And teachers stood up for him, his friends stood up for him, people he wasn't friends with stood up for him. It was like he got away with everything. I watched him grab her by the throat and slam her into a wall, and I also watched him sucker punch her in the thigh hard because she tried to get up to go to the bathroom.
What the fuck?
He treated her like shit, and she wouldn't let us do anything. She would always, you know, she would say that she'd never forgive, you know, she'd be really upset if we did anything like that. And I respected the hell out of her, so I wasn't gonna do anything. But it's like, dude fucking sucked, man. Do you have any idea how much energy it took not to, like, choke the life out of him? It was like me and 4 of my friends who were like, we'll kill him for you, you know that, right? Like, we'll kill him, we'll hide the body, you just say the word, like, we got you. And she was like, no, you know, don't, like, I love him. And it's, makes me sick. I fucking hate that guy. I want to break his fucking jaw before we leave. but his
Do
family
it,
is
man.
also like super well respected because his mom is like a leader in the church or some shit. Stupid.
I'll fucking do it before we leave, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm going to. Don't mistake. I'm saying that I haven't done it yet because I still live here. But the week that we leave, I'm gonna break his fucking jaw. Actually, there's 2 people that I need to break their jaw the week that we leave. I just don't know if I'll be able to find the other one.
And Daniel said, I kept falling asleep, bro, and I just told him, well, just get up. Daniel said, how we do we queen by you, you right new. What the fuck, Daniel?
Alright, guys, that's where we're ending stream for the day. That's where we're ending
Oh, that's a great ending.
stream.
That's
I'm
an
not
amazing
gonna.
ending.
Wow, I don't even have fucking words for that. I'm sorry you had to experience that. Your VOD word of the day is cringe. This is where we're ending it.
No, you're right, man. You were entirely crazy.
No, Daniel is cringe. Oh my god.
Oh, Daniel's entirely, yeah, Daniel
Yeah.
is crazy.
Okay, so that's it. Later.